Hey friends, welcome into TexAgs Rewind here. David Nuño with my buddies Nick Savage and Luke Evangelist. Guys, I gotta give Nick some props. Great segment idea with the best scripted moments in sports. And Luke tried to do his best to derail the segment by, being just a knucklehead. Other than that, I thought it was great.
I thought Luke's contributions were on par. He takes it to mean something else, but I mean, he's on to something.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And speaking of another contribution I made, David, I see the banners made it this time. You're welcome.
For those who don't know, our first road trip of the year when we went to Miami, good old Luke and Cade were supposed to mail those banners to our hotel in Miami. Well, they didn't put a return address on. They didn't know how to do mail. It was like their first time kind of going through that whole thing. It didn't arrive until after the show. In fact, we didn't even need it by the time it arrived. And that's Luke. Did I sum that up?
Yep,
quite well?
I think you hit every important detail there. No need to bring it up ever again.
Well, today on the show, we did that. Best scripted moments in sports. Billy Liucci joined us for an hour. We had a lot more to talk about. We got into rating the position groups on Texas A&M's roster. We did, Justin Lanham came on the show where we talked a little bit about Aggie basketball and, of course, the top performers, that and more here on the TexAgs Rewind.
And I know it was in a losing effort, but, Wade Taylor again, what do you have, 30, 31 in that 30 points in that loss to Ole Miss. I thought he played. Look at his 3-point percentage, his field goal. I mean, he played well. 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Man, guys, if you give that guy a little bit of help, they could do some damage.
Yeah, he absolutely deserves it. And beyond that, OB, he was named to the 2024 Cousy Award midseason top 10, which is given obviously to the top guards in the country. So good stuff for Wade Taylor. I'm gonna throw in another name. Are you familiar with the gentleman by the name of Mark Weaver, the Dream Weavers, the women's tennis team?
Of course, the Dream Weaver, my neighbor.
45th consecutive home win. All they do is win, 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 no matter what, OB.
Man, I hope they gave that guy a raise last year. He may need another one.
He might. They earn a spot in the ITA National Indoor Championship. The Aggies took down TCU Sunday 4-0 at the Mitchell Tennis Center. And I'm going to throw in another one. How about Patrick Mahomes, 241 yards passing, 1 touchdown, his 4th Super Bowl?
Yeah. What did you say, 28? 28 years
241 yards passing,
no,
1 touchdown.
His age, we talked about that yesterday, 28, already in his 4th Super Bowl. Dan Marino went to 1, and it was his rookie year. It's hard to do to keep going back to the Super Bowl. And quite frankly, I thought the Ravens would win. But I guess if you have Mahomes, you have a chance. So, yeah. I've lost some of my enthusiasm as a fan of his because, of all the whining. But, man, you got to give credit where credit is due. East Texas guy. Never underestimate him.
So here's a follow-up to that. In today's era, not the era that we love so much, right? I mean, 80s, 90s is what you probably liked the 1940s. But sorry, that was a joke.
I'm going to do a devious thing. I'm going to leak our text messages during and after basketball games because our emotions are all over the place, good and bad, right?
Absolutely. It's just, I think I've said it on here before. You don't ever want to be too high or too low, but man, sometimes after games, it's just like, I just don't even know what to think and feel. And there's just so many frustrations, and you see, opportunities, and sometimes we don't seize those opportunities. And it just slips away from you. And that's the way I felt at the end of the Ole Miss game. I just felt like it slipped right out of our hands. And so you just feel all the emotions right after the game.
The hard part too, Justin, is the fact that they actually shot okay. It's not good, but it's been better than they've been doing. But the formula for this team to win is to dominate the glass. They won the glass. I wouldn't say they dominated the glass. Win the turnover battle and hit free throws. And when those things can't happen in one possession games, well, that's how you get your losses.
Yeah, absolutely. And, out of those things, I think the thing that you would say was the worst was the free throw percentage. You can't shoot 54% from the charity stripe and think that you're going to win games, especially when you take, you take quite a few free throws. You take 22 free throws. So, again, I just felt like it slipped away there. And you hear Buzz in the press conference, and you hear him talk about it. Those are things that they're working on. It's not he wants those guys to hit those shots. Those guys want to hit those shots. It's not like they're trying to miss them. It's just, man, and I know in our text messages back and forth, some of them it's just like they're so the most inopportune times, right, that we miss these, and it just kind of it's just an exclamation on those free throws whenever you miss them and in the moments that we missed them.
But we'll start with some college football. So how about this one, David? 2013 Iron Bowl, the kick six. I mean, come on. That's too insane. That goes off of Auburn's crazy year where they already had their Hail Mary tip touchdown against Georgia, and to end the season like that against Alabama, I remember where I was watching that. So that's a prime example of a quote unquote scripted moment.
That moment right there was like, if somebody would have told me this is what happened, I'd be like, no way, bro. There's no way. No way.
Exactly.
And it happened.
Yeah. I got 2 MLB ones for you, if you'll take it. The Astros and the Red Sox. Okay, thanks. We'll go with the Red Sox first because it happened beforehand. This is great, feel-good storyline. 2013, the Boston Marathon bombings happened that year, and who ends up winning the World Series? The Red Sox. They have the Boston Strong patch. Big Papi gives his speech, and they wear those Boston jerseys the entire season, and they end up winning the World Series that year. So that's something like that. Obviously it's not scripted, but hey, if it was, that's a really good story. Could say the same thing about the 2017 Houston Astros. Hurricane Harvey hits Houston that year, and they go on to win the World Series. So just feel good stories like that, I feel like are good examples of quote unquote scripted moments.
I got one for you that didn't work out that way, but it was still a cool moment. The 2001 World Series after 9/11, obviously the Yankees that took place, and President Bush threw out the first pitch. I forget in which game of the World Series. The Diamondbacks ended up winning that World Series, but that whole storyline of we weren't sure when sports were going to come back, kind of like COVID, and when they came back to playing, and that was just a cool moment. Well, it was a terrible moment in September, but just how the country was kind of united, and the Diamondbacks ended up winning it.
It's funny you bring that up because I followed that up with Mike Piazza's post 9/11 home run. I believe it was 10 days after the events. It was the first game back.
Well, I still think it's defensive line up top. I have little to no doubt there. The addition of Nick Scorton was massive out of the portal. I think as big as any non-quarterback portal addition in the country. It's right up there with it. You literally took a P5 conference leader in sacks, and not only a Power 5, but one of the two best Power 5 conferences. There's the SEC and there's the Big Ten. And you took not a team leader, but a conference leader in sacks, and he's a hungry football player that's coming home with something to prove. And so I think when you add him, and then they're able to, so much, it's funny, so much of the talk outside of College Station along the defensive line had to do with Walter Nolan leaving. Because he went to Ole Miss and because Lane Kiffin tweets a lot, it got so much run. And Walter is a good player with a chance to be a great player. He was trending the right way at the end of this season. I think he's stock going up if he continues to work at it. He's not there yet. Good player, chance to be a great player. A&M did everything they could to keep him. They weren't go. So he gets there. That's all the talk, all the buzz. Meanwhile, what the Aggies do is Shamar Stewart's coming back. If you talk to anybody inside the program, including Elijah Robinson, who left for Syracuse, they'd tell you Shamar Stewart was doing this as the season ended. He was really coming on and emerging as a big-time SEC defensive lineman. I mentioned Nick Scorton. You're bringing in the Big Ten sack leader. And then a massive keep, let's call it, was Shamar Turner. And when Shamar Turner announced that he's not going to the NFL and he's returning to A&M for his senior season, you've got a guy with first-team all-SEC potential coming back. That's a senior. That's a tough guy.
Luke, what will you do if we get to 14,000 subscribers? We're like, what, Nick, 13.8? Is that right?
Yeah, we're pretty close.
I haven't even begun to think of it. All the limitless possibilities of things I could do. Probably.
Would you shave half your mustache?
No.
Just for one day.
I would shave my head before I shave my mustache. If we get to 14,000, yeah, I'll let you do whatever. 14,000 by the end of Wednesday.
Tomorrow.
By the end of tomorrow, I will let you shave a stripe right down my head.
I can do it on camera?
On camera.
I got clippers.
Perfect.
But or can I give you a bald fade? Can I do it, though?
No, absolutely not.
Why
I don't
not?
trust you.
You don't trust me to do a line?
Yeah, but not a fade. Absolutely not. No.
Why not? Look at my
know.
fade right now.
David, the funny part is Luke thinks this is going to stay on the rewind, but now that he just committed to it, I'm going to clip it and we'll play it on the show tomorrow to our broader audience. So more clicks.
There's Nick at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center.
Well, tell the people what to do, Luke, with a stripe in his head coming soon.
That's going to be like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you turn your notifications on so you never miss anything that TexAgs puts out. And also, once again, please subscribe or don't if you want me to keep my hair, but you probably should.
Racing Stripe Luke.
200 subscribers away. Let's do it, guys. Come on.